All right, guys, we are here with the legendary Nicole Tran. She is 17 years old.
Yeah, 17.
Still in high school.
I'm a senior.
Senior in high school, guys. And she hit $10,000 in a single day with her agency. She also closed $5,000 at prom.
Yeah.
When was this? Last week?
This was Friday. So the day before prom. So I was with my friends and 5K came through on Stripe. So
you were like just at prom, like you're dancing or hanging out.
Basically, just hanging out with my friends.
And then they were like, did they believe you or?
It was skepticism. It was just like.
Just pure skepticism.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah. Sus vibes.
Yeah. What, do you just like, I guess we'll get more into that.
Yeah.
But anyways, $5,000 at prom, $10,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You've made one of your clients $450,000.
Yep.
So fulfillment and service deliveries on point.
Yeah.
And you've only been doing this since 2022. So for like less than 2 years.
Yeah. So I started November 2022.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So first things first, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. At 17, there's no way I was making $5,000, $10,000 a day.
Yeah.
So
no, it was, I think,
like I started my agency when I was 24. So in like 7 years, that was my day one. Like in 7 years, you're going to be extremely successful. So
yeah, I'm excited about that.
For sure. I'm excited to see what happens. With that in mind, why don't you dive into your story? How did you get into the agency game? How did you get here?
How did I get here? So that's a great question. I think it really started when I was a kid. When I was a kid, like around 10 or 11, I really liked Minecraft. I got into a lot of like Minecraft YouTube videos and stuff, and I decided I wanted to become a YouTuber. So I started posting tutorials, and within like year 2, one of my top videos got 180,000 views, and my mom was like, "What are you doing on YouTube?" I'm like, "I'm just posting videos." From there, I just branched into like graphic design for like esports. I made my first like $300, I think, when I was 12, because I sold like thumbnails, logos, basically anything graphic design. But yeah, from there, middle school to high school. High school, I just kind of became a little bit more of a delinquent, I would say. So I just kind of focused more on my education, but then also focused on having fun as a teenager. And yeah, from there, November 2022, I saw a YouTube video that changed my life.
By delinquent, you mean just like not following the rules? What do you mean by that?
Delinquent, I'd say like, I would just rebel against like my parents and sneak out. So from sneaking out, I got brought home by the cops twice just because it was like 2 a.m. They didn't want teenagers on the street, so I got brought home by that. I got in a lot of trouble, sophomore, junior year of high school. And yeah, it was not a very fun time. So I guess.
Do you have good grades?
I did have good grades. I was an AB student. I think I had like a 3.5 GPA, which isn't too bad for the stuff like I was.
Gotta get those numbers up.
Yeah, I gotta get those numbers up. Could be better. A better ROI on that. But yeah, from there, kind of fell into the wrong crowd, I'd say. And then November 2022, it was like Thanksgiving time. I stumbled upon a YouTube video. It was an Iman Gadji video. I think it was 17-year-old millionaire documents his life from 17. And right then and there, I decided to start a marketing agency.
And you were 15 at the time?
I was 16.
16?
16, yeah. And from there, I just went into like a bunch of YouTube videos, started researching, and then I stumbled upon a Charlie Morgan video, and you were in it. I think you were being interviewed by him, by his like program and stuff. And what you did was something I've never seen before in the agency space at that time. And what you did was basically put out this free course with all the materials, all the resources anyone would ever need to have a successful marketing agency. And that course, that Google Drive course, literally landed me my first client and probably changed my life forever. Like, I don't think without that course, I would be sitting here right now. So, yeah. So it's just like a chain of events. Saw that Iman Gadji video, saw the Charlie Morgan video and you were in it. You linked that Google Drive course, and I watched it, consumed all the content, literally duplicated the pitch deck, made it my own. It took me like a whole day. I was at a family function. It was Thanksgiving, and I sat in a room for like 4 hours making this pitch deck, and then I had the call on a Monday. And I was
your mom's
so
like, Nicole, dinner's ready. You're like, I'm working on my pitch deck.
Yeah. No, she had no idea what I was doing, and she wasn't expecting me to like have any success with that because she was like, come on. But
I know it's very abstract.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just think back to 17. My parents, people around me, to tell them you're making $5,000.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to even wrap their heads around.
Yeah.
Even if you explain it, I feel like.
I've explained it so many times to my mom, and she's like, so what do you do exactly? And I'm like, I do blah, 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 and it's just, it doesn't stick. But
is that what you tell her? I do blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, just blah, blah, blah.
She's like, I still don't get it. That's awesome. So what I'm hearing is you watched Iman video, then you stumbled upon Charlie, then you found my free course, went all in on that, landed your first client within a month of watching that.
Yeah.
Was it a paid client or free trial client?
Free trial client. So what I offered, he's still with me to this day. Free
really?
Trial client.
So he converted.
Yeah, converted. Free trial client. I was like, hey, I'll do this for free. At the end of the 30 days, it'd be $12.50 a month. And I was so nervous saying that figure on the call. And I was like, $12.50 a month. And I was so nervous, but he was so nice about it. First month goes by, and I guess he just really liked working with me. We didn't get any insane results or anything like that, because first time ever running ads, so nervous about it. I remember the first day we ever launched the ads, I was at school sitting in the library, and I didn't know about the Facebook scams at the time, where scammers would like email you saying your ad account was restricted. I got one of those emails,
or
and
like the pages.
Yeah. I got so nervous, and I was sweating in the library because I was like, oh my God, my first client literally got his ad account disabled. So, but converted that client at the end of the month. I told my mom, like, I just made $1,250, and I was like, we were just both in shock. We were sitting at the dinner table, and I was like, holy.
Does she believe you?
She was skeptical. She was like, there's no way. And she told my grandma. My grandma was like, there's no way. But like,
yeah, because it's just so, like, how do you even?
Yeah.
And then you show them Stripe, and they're like, what is that?
Yeah. I'm like, it's a payment processor. Like, what's a payment processor? I'm like, it's kind of like your bank account, but like for businesses.
I think once it hits the account,
the
bank account, they probably believe it.
Yeah, she has me under her bank account, so she sees how much money I'm
really?
making. Yeah. I still have a high school checking account.
Is that where you deposit your?
Yeah, all my.
So she believes it now.
Yeah, because she sees the numbers. She sees like,
that's crazy.
Stripe Co. 10K.
Does she celebrate with you now? Like, oh, we had a big day today.
I don't really tell her. Like, I kind of keep it to myself. Like, I'll text a family group chat.
I guarantee you she's logging in once a week. Yeah, like, let's see where the numbers are at. I gotta I gotta check the P&L. I gotta check the P&L.
Yeah, she'll ask me sometimes when I have slow months. She's like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just in a sales rep right now."
That's crazy. That's so cool. Would you say it's brought your family closer? It sounds like it has in a way.
Yeah. Because before my agency, I was a delinquent, so I was not a very fun person to be around. Going into business and basically like starting my agency changed my life and changed who I became. Before the agency game and business stuff, I was kind of like a miserable person. Like, I wasn't really kind of, I'd say extroverted. I really didn't like talking to people. But as soon as I jumped in the agency space and the business space, I think I became a lot more likable because I learned sales. I feel like sales is everywhere in your daily life. Like, you're always selling in whatever form that is, like to a friend or convincing someone to go to dinner at this specific place. So yeah, it definitely brought me and my mom closer.
That's cool.
Yeah, we moved from Houston. So senior year of high school, this was last summer. We moved from Houston all the way to Washington into the middle of nowhere on a farm. So basically dropped everything, dropped my senior year to go live on a farm and seclude myself and just work. And we've always wanted to move there. So it's just me and my mom in Washington, living on a farm with my mom's best friend and her fiance. And yeah, it's definitely brought us closer. We do a lot more things together compared to when I was
Before.
a delinquent. So
That's cool.
yeah.
You keep saying delinquent, but you seem like a very kind person, you know?
No, if you
You're
saw,
probably just like a rebel a little bit.
yeah. But if you ask my mom, she would say I was pretty miserable 2020 to 2022. So
Yeah, now you're like, oh, 5K.
yeah.
Hmm.
You want to go to dinner, Mom? We can get Thai food.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you are 17, you've made $10,000 in a single day, literally $5,000 at prom night. You've made your clients over $450,000, and you've done this all in less than 2 years. What's the most you've made in a single month?
Most I've made in a single month is 17.5K.
17.5K.
Yeah.
And then with that in mind, let's dive into some specifics.
Let's do it.
What niche are you in? What offer are you running? What's your pricing look like?
Yeah, so I'm in the home improvement niche. So I work with home improvement companies, remodeling companies, all of that. My offer, I don't really have any crazy guarantees. I don't have like 30 jobs in 90 days.
I saw you posted that in the agency lab group.
Yeah. I feel like it
that
kind
you've
of
gone away from guarantees.
I feel like it just attracts, for me at least, I feel like I attract the wrong type of clients and set the wrong expectations off the bat, so I don't do any guarantees. I've done that before. It didn't work out really well because, you're over-promising and under-delivering, and it doesn't help client results or client success, really, at least for me. Maybe I was doing it wrong, but my offer, basically, I just pitched.
I think people see it as this like, and I'm going to pass the ball back to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go off on a huge tangent, but I think people see it as this very black or white thing.
Yeah.
Guarantees, no guarantees. And it's like, it's just a tool.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
you can use it.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to bring people in. But then just like anything else, it has its pros and cons.
Exactly. You have to use it let's say you have a client that's really close to closing. It's more like a tool rather than the vehicle you're choosing to go with, I'd say.
Yeah, I think people put this like all or nothing mentality,
Yeah.
and then maybe they get burned by guarantees, and now they're like, can't do it ever again. Like this is going to ruin your business. And then it's just not so black or white. Like Hermosi now doesn't have to use guarantees for school.com because he has a huge brand, but Gym Launch is still running a $100,000 guarantee.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not very binary. I feel like people make it very this or that,
I think you should learn to be able to succeed with or without it.
Yeah. Because I think without guarantees, you're really forced to get better at sales rather than leveraging and having that do the 80 out of the 20, right?
So tell me this: what's the offer though? Like, is it like that used to bait them in on your ads? Like,
So on my ads, I just say like what I do. Basically, I just call out. At the bottom of it, I basically say, after working with a bunch of home improvement companies, we've done over $1 million for them. And then I just say, hey, if you want to win more high-end projects, then click the button below. And I'm positioning it as something that they want. So something I figured out within my market is they want more high-end projects. They don't want more projects. So I think it comes down to knowing your niche and what do they actually want. Because not a lot of them want a ton of small little projects. They want bigger projects. So my value proposition is just, hey, I'll bring you more high-end projects.
How did you figure that out?
Just
over time?
Over time. Bunch of calls with different companies, and then watching YouTube videos, reading books, getting really familiar with your niche. I think the biggest thing is just having a ton of sales experience. You learn more by doing than you do by learning, right? So just by being in it and figuring out what are their pain points by asking those questions, like what do they actually want out of their business, helps you figure that out so you could better position your service and your company as
getting crystal clear on what they want.
Yeah.
That's your offer. And then just telling them that they could have that. That's your offer.
Exactly. It's just.
So your ad is call out of the audience, social proof.
Yeah.
Do you want this very specific thing that only I know that you want because I took my time to research it?
Exactly. Yeah. And when you have an ad like
below?
That. Yeah, just click the link below.
And then it just goes to a calendar?
It goes to a survey page. So those say, I asked like how big is our company? Established solo practices, startup, 2 to 9 people. I disqualify startups because I don't work with startups. But Basically, yeah, they click a button, they choose the answer, they fill out their name, their information, and then they book after that. So survey page, calendar, and then that's it. And I get like I'm running ads at $1,200 a month. I have 3 to 4 booked calls a day. So I haven't tracked my numbers on that, but I think that's a
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. So 1,200 turned into 17K for me this month. So
You need to spend more.
I do, but my calendar's fully booked out for this week and next week too. So I have to hire out eventually. So I'm looking into that, but yeah, offer basically just like, do you want this thing? I can do it for you. And what I get on my calls is like people saying like, yeah, your ad really stuck out to me because you really like, it resonated with me. So that's why they clicked.
Yeah, like I think, for example, if I told you you're an agency owner, if I said I can get you a client, that's not nearly as strong as saying I can get you a client that's going to pay anywhere between 3 to 5K a month on a 12-month contract.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I want that.
That's more specific, right?
Yeah. And for example, with Agency Lab, we realized what agencies actually want is for us to run their ads and get them a closer.
Yeah.
And it's like the guarantee is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But you have to get clear with what they really want.
Yeah.
Chiropractors don't actually want, most of the time, adjustment patients, for example. They want high-ticket patients for their high-end machines that they invested $50,000 to $100,000 to purchase.
Yeah. So yeah, basically get really dialed in on your messaging, and then that in turn, the marketing makes it.
But also have
so
social
easier.
proof. It sounds like.
Yeah, social proof.
How
Honestly,
did you get social proof? You did free trials at first?
Yeah, I only did one free trial. Then after that, I just started charging $12.50 a month. People don't really ask me like.
Yeah, but on the ad you say like, what I mean is like you have the case study on the ad. You're like, this is how we made our clients $1 million.
Yeah. So basically, just saying like, this is a case study. This is a vehicle we use to do it.
How did you get that result? Was it just through free trials? Was it just over time, little by little?
The result, it was just a lot of testing. It was only me at the time. I was just running ads. So I onboarded like 3 clients. I had 2 at $12.50 a month. And I just invested like all of my time trying to learn ads, market research. So like going on Facebook ads library, spying. There wasn't really any other competitors out there at the time. So I didn't really have much to work on. But basically just trial and error, honestly. Just researching, testing. It's kind of like a feedback loop. You just have to keep going to actually learn. But
that's cool. So to recap, you're in the home improvement niche. Your offer, you actually don't have a guarantee or some crazy paper or whatever offer, but you do have the case study. So again, remember I said about context, like having a crazy offer if you're at 0 and you don't have any social proof, no case study, no awareness of what the market wants, could work. So you know exactly what your market wants. You give it to them and you tell them, here's some social proof to back it up.
Exactly.
What's your pricing look like? Is it like do you do like a 3-month paid in full? Like what is that?
Yeah. So basically
you said $12.50, but maybe
$12.50. Yeah, it's changed. So at the beginning I was doing $12.50 a month. And then I switched so I do PIFs now mostly. I do 3 months for $5K, 9 months or 6 months for $9,000. And then if they want to do month to month, it's $2,000 per month. And most of the time I get them to close on the 5K
Middle
or
option.
9K. Yeah, better option for them. And I position that as like, you're going to win this way because you're going to stay with us for more than 6 months anyway, right? So that's basically my pricing and how that looks like.
So $2K a month, 5K for 3 months,
Yeah.
9K for 6 months.
Yeah.
Cool. What is what do they get? Someone buys from you. Do they get like, what does your service delivery system look like?
Yeah. So they get Facebook ads. I run their ads for them. They get the CRM, so go HighLevel, the automations and stuff like that. But it's really simple. Like I just run their ads. The leads come in, and I make them call the leads just because I don't want to deal with like a call center. And I found that like when they call their own leads, it's better success for them. And I also give them a course as well, and I coach them a little bit on sales, setting appointments, calling leads and stuff like that. But yeah, all they get is basically leads in the CRM, and they just have to call them. And they're really high-end leads too, because they're qualified through the form that we have.
What if they don't call?
See, that's the issue that we're running into right now is that part of things. But what we've been doing and implementing recently, because I remember I hopped into that one all hands in call, and you told me to basically.
Can you explain what the all hands in call is?
All hands in call is basically a weekly call in agency lab with Joel, and they go over all types of topics, any questions that you have. They'll interview 100K a month agencies, answer any problems, bottlenecks you're facing. All hands in call basically solves all those issues that you're having, basically. And it's a pretty nice thing because you get to kind of gather around with all these agency owners at the end of the week, which is really nice. But in that all hands in call, you basically answered my question and told me to teach them or teach someone in their company to call the leads. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing.
You need someone responsible.
Yeah, someone responsible.
Because if you tell the owner to call,
they're not gonna call. They're too busy.
Yeah, like we worked with over 300 chiropractors, and what we noticed is that the most successful ones, not only did they call their leads, they actually had someone assigned to that job. Yeah. And it wasn't the owner.
Yeah. So that's what we did as well. We basically told them that because some of them have receptionists, some of them have extra team members to call the leads. So that's what we've been doing. And it's actually been working really well. So we've been setting appointments for them with people that have like really huge projects that are really high end. So that's what we've been doing. Otherwise, we just have them call the lead. If they don't, we kind of put the pressure on them. It's like you're paying for this service, but you're not maximizing the results you can get out of it. So we just kind of reposition it, put their success back on them. So
once you have more clients, you could put all the receptionists in a group.
Oh, yeah.
And then make them do like prizes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone that books an appointment today gets entered into a raffle. Like you can do leaderboards.
Yeah. That's actually that's a good idea.
And then you can also incentivize them helping each other out. Like one of the other things we do in Agency Lab is called a hackathon.
Oh, yeah.
Or once a month, we bring all the agency owners together, and then everyone shares like crazy hacks. Mm-hmm. And the best hack wins like $250 or maybe it's $500.
Yeah.
And you could do things like that. So then now you're incentivizing them to share amongst each other. And now you're creating a culture of like competition and collaboration.
Yeah, yeah. The hackathon's really nice. I hop in there and people are just dropping sauce all the time. Like, holy cow, I have to implement that. And I'll just take the weekend to implement it and then.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Cool. So we broke down service. So service delivery is pretty simple.
Yeah, really simple. No call centers, just leads basically.
And for the Facebook ads, do you do like video ads for them? Do you do image ads?
Just image ads, honestly. They just send us project photos of projects they've completed. We just run the ads and just have these project photos just running. And then we'll have I think the main part is probably the ad copy because we have like an hour to 2 hour long call with them. And we basically figure out who their ideal client avatar is, basically breaking down their pain points, desires, psychographics. What are they actually looking for within a home improvement company? And that 1 to 2 hour call helps us craft kind of that.
They probably love that too.
They love it. They're like, wow, this is so customized to me. It's not cookie cutter. You're not pasting some random ad copy like that doesn't align with my company. That's one of the things in my sales calls that helps me kind of separate myself from other companies. It's like no cookie cutter systems. We do everything 100% customized and branded. We actually build out their landing pages for them that's branded to their company. So They really like that part of it.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people are like, oh, SMMA is saturated, but I think the key to standing out is just little things like this.
Yeah, innovation.
It's like, but it could be so simple. It could just be like we do a 2 hour strategy call with them.
Yeah,
so that they feel extremely heard in the whole process.
Yeah. It really helps set the tone as well because the first call you have with them after they become a client is probably one of the most important things in terms of setting expectations and building that relationship right off the bat. And yeah, having that 2 hour call really helps with that because I feel like they have a personal connection. And I noticed like after I started implementing that, I kept clients longer because they have that relationship with me and the team as well.
Cool. That's really awesome stuff. I know you want to talk about mindset. Before we do that, can you break down how your for acquisition is just paid ads now?
Just paid ads, but before that, I was doing iMessage, SMS, texting, but through iMessage. So if you have an Apple phone, basically just texting businesses through iMessage. And then I was also doing personalized cold email videos. And then I was doing some Instagram DMs as well.
What's worked? How, if you had to rank them, how would you rank them?
I do SMS, so iMessage.
Over paid ads?
Oh, okay. Paid ads first. Paid ads number one, because that's probably the fastest and easiest way for you to get the most booked appointments possible.
Do you think if you're a brand new beginner, you should maybe just start with cold outreach though, or?
Cold outreach, I'd say get your first client. But if you have the capital to spend, if you have money to spend on paid ads, I'd say you could definitely do that. I think it's really easy to go out and go get money for paid ads. Just do DoorDash or the grocery stuff, like the online DoorDash and Uber Eats stuff. You could probably do that for like a weekend and then get ad spend. But if you don't have the option to do that and your hands are tied, I'd say do cold outreach. Be really consistent with it though. I see a lot of people, the biggest mistake, and even for me when I started, was I was super inconsistent with cold outreach.
You got to hire a VA to do it.
Hire a VA to do it. You could probably do like 200, 300 a month for that if you find a VA for that. But cold outreach, if you are a complete beginner, you don't have time, you're a student, maybe you're working full-time job, I'd say do cold outreach. But if you have capital, do paid ads for sure.
So paid ads, SMS,
cold email, Instagram DMs. Instagram DMs really depends on your niche, obviously, but I see for mine paid ads, SMS, cold email, Instagram.
Why do you like paid ads so much?
The consistency. It just comes on my calendar. I don't have to do anything. I don't really have to, spend 3-4 hours a day messaging different, companies and making videos for them and stuff. Paid ads is just super consistent, super reliable, really predictable. So you know how much you're gonna put in, and you know how many calls you're gonna get out at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So paid ads definitely changed the game for me.
That's awesome. So I know you wanted to talk about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have in mind?
Yeah. So regarding mindset, I think I should start with like the different levels I went through in business. Before I ever started an agency and joined Agency Lab, my mindset on how much money I could make was so little. I thought 10K a month was like the golden number, like 10K a month was absolutely insane to me. Like making 10K a month would be crazy, right? And as soon as I joined Agency Lab and was in a community surrounded by people doing 50, 80, 100K a month, even 200K a month, it completely shifted my mindset and my beliefs. And once you're kind of surrounded by people that are constantly leveling up, not only in business, but in themselves, it kind of forces you to become a different person. So that's why, I say, my friends and my family that saw me 3 years ago and the person I am right now, they're two completely different people because of those paradigm shifts and that mindset shift that I had before I started and then after I started, and as I continue to keep growing in business. I think the relationship between growing within yourself is directly proportional with the level of your business or how big your business can get. I think when you're starting off from 0 to 10K a month, that is purely just a yourself game. You're just competing with yourself at that point. The levels that you can achieve from there, for me, was just kind of a mindset thing. So as soon as I joined Agency
What
Lab,
did you learn?
What did I learn
to get to 10K a month?
To hit 10K a month, like mindset wise? That it was possible, really. I just learned that it was possible, that I saw other people doing it and I could do that too. It was more of a belief thing within myself, because before that, I didn't believe that I could ever hit 10K a month. Like, my self-esteem was pretty low in the fact that I didn't think it was possible. But, the technical stuff really helps, like the tactical, strategies, appointment setting, sales, and all that really helps. But the biggest thing is just doing enough. I think before I ever hit 10K a month, I just wasn't doing enough. I wasn't putting in enough effort, enough time. I wasn't all in on my business, and having people around you in Agency Lab like that really pushes you to go beyond your limits and actually go all in. I think the biggest problem most beginners face is that they're trying to do too much in the beginning and not or trying to learn too much in the beginning and not actually do anything about it. They get too stuck on trying to get it right before they even start. And that's probably the biggest thing that held me back as an agency owner, because I would spend so much time on YouTube trying to find the best acquisition strategies, trying to find the best sales videos, that I wasn't actually doing the thing, which is setting appointments, closing appointments, and obviously fulfillment, right? And joining Agency Lab literally I literally had to burn all my ships, so I had no other choice but to close clients and do fulfillment, right? So if you have the option to put yourself in a position where you have to go all in, I'd say do that. Obviously with, risk, obviously think about the risk and all of that. But if you have the option to push yourself to the limit, I'd say do that. If you can go all in, go all in. And you have to figure out exactly why you want to do that in the first place. Going back to the thing about why my mindset shifted was because I didn't have a strong enough why on why I was doing business in the first place. And when you start off, I think a lot of people's why is just to make more money, but they don't know why they want to make more money, right? And figuring out the bigger reason to why you're doing the thing that you want to do will allow you to get up every day, will allow you to face client fires, will allow you to take the sales calls, will allow you to basically get shit thrown in your face and keep going with it. A lot of people give up really early on, and that was me too. When I first started, the thought of doing sales calls frightened me. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna try to sell someone on a $5,000 deal, and even $1,000 deal, even $700. So having that mindset shift on why you're doing it and getting really hyper focused on that really helps you kind of get over that hump and start doing the things that you need to do.
That's really cool. What is your why?
My why, when I first started, it was finances. And basically when I first started, things were kind of rough in terms of trying to pay rent at the house we were living in back at home in Houston. And I kind of watched my mom kind of struggle. She's a single mom. It was me, my brother, my mom. And it was just really hard to kind of watch that happen. And, I was in high school. I was not really doing much. And I feel like I had so much time on my hands and I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything about it. And I wanted to help my mom kind of relieve the stress that she was facing at the time. She wasn't telling us everything that was going on, but I could see that she was really stressed about it. And that initially was my why, just so that I could make $750, pay half of the rent at least. And that's what got me through getting on that first sales call. That first sales call, I was literally rethinking about not even joining the Zoom call because it was so terrifying. But I just remembered why I was doing it, which was I have to get out of this situation that I'm in and go all in because I have no other option but to do that. And yeah, that was the why in the beginning. And obviously it grows bigger as you keep going. I think when you're starting, you're running away from a lot of pain, trying to solve this specific problem. And that was my why in the beginning. But something I face, and I think a lot of agency owners face after I've talked to them, is that they plateau because after they've hit that goal or escaped that pain, they stop growing. And that's what happened to me. I hit 10K a month. I was able to support me and my mom financially, and I didn't have a reason to go any further than 10K a month. So I just stopped doing the things that got me to where I was, and I plateaued. And from there, I was doing a lot of searching and figuring out why was I doing this? I hit my goal. I'm comfortable. Why would I want to do any more? And I remember November, Agency Lab Live was hosted. We flew to Miami, and I got to meet all of the teenagers that were also doing 10K a month. I remember Sergio, his speech, you and Sergio's speech. I remember when Sergio first started off, he said something like...
Which is, it's on YouTube right now. So
it's on YouTube?
Yeah, so if you're watching this and you want to check it out, we'll link it below in the description.
Life-changing. Sergio, being in that room and having Sergio's like echo from that whole like venue talking about like, why the fuck are you doing this? I don't know what he said, but he was going crazy about like, figure out your why. And I was sitting there and like, I had chills on my body. I'm like, holy shit. Like my mindset like shifted in that room.
I don't want to like ruin this moment, but I call him the Dominican Tony Robbins. I know that's going to kill the vibe. I know you're about to say something really deep, but
no, that is so true.
He's like the jacked Dominican Tony. He's like Tony Robbins, but jacked and Dominican. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. If you ever see a picture of him, I think you'll see what Joel's talking about.
But I think he's the best public speaker I've ever been in a room with. Yeah,
he like his voice really just like
he did a talk on leadership in Mexico. Mm-hmm. We should upload that to his YouTube channel. Let's upload it to his YouTube channel and link it below too. But he did a talk on leadership in Mexico like years back. And I remember everyone afterwards was just like mind fucked. They were just like, what just happened? Like it was like so like it just hit your soul.
Yeah. It's like he knows exactly like what everyone is feeling and then just like grabs it and it's just like squeezes it. I'm like, holy cow.
But in a good way.
In a good way. In
Not
the best way possible.
Not in a torturing way.
Yeah. No, but it lit a fire under my ass because everybody around me, like I was sitting at this table, everyone around me was like doing 20K a month. And I'm sitting here at 10K a month and they have all the reasons and their whys and stuff. But sitting in that room with all those people and having Sergio literally lecture everybody on why the fuck are you doing this literally changed my mindset and maybe like my neural pathways in some capacity. But sitting in that room basically allowed me to figure out my bigger why in that picture. And for me, that was really like, I think getting from 10 to beyond 10K a month to 20K a month is just like, what do you want to achieve in your life? And like, how can you position your business to become the vehicle to allow you to do that? And in my life, I basically want to own a international home improvement company at some point and work with, all across the world. So that's why I'm going to college for that. But basically figuring out that why really helped me do that. And mainly, it's like I want to buy land eventually and build a house for me and my mom, so we have like a permanent place to stay and call home, and have that stability for her. That basically kind of allowed me to get up every day at that point and keep pushing and keep going through all the client fires and the stress of it all. But
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So a few more questions. You mentioned college.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe obviously you're extremely smart, very successful. What are your thoughts on college as a whole? And just like the guarantees, I'm very much like, I think with social media, even when I started posting content, I realized if I go kind of crazy in one direction, I get more views.
Yeah.
But then that pulls you away from the truth, which is... it's not black or white, right? Like college is good for some people, it's bad for others.
Yeah.
In some cases, like I'll be honest with you, if I got into Harvard today, I'd probably go. I know that's a hot take, but like you're telling me, or like Stanford, you're telling me Peter Thiel is going to be my teacher.
And you're not going to go?
Yeah. He's the founder of PayPal, Palantir. Like I'm going to just go talk to him.
Yeah.
Or like, So I think that it's not so black or white,
Yeah. It's definitely subjective, depending on each person's goals and what they want. I think I don't really want to have a really loud opinion on that because everybody's different. Everybody has a different goal.
What do you think for you, I guess?
For me,
what was your thought process to say I am going to go to college even though I don't need to?
Yeah. So for me, I think it's more about like, because obviously the profession I want to go into, you kind of need to have that, to have the degree to basically do all that. But that's kind of like my long-term plan. So what I did was figure out what my long-term plan was. I didn't get too specific on it, but I kind of had a direction in terms of where I want to go with my life. And college just happens to be that vehicle that allows me to achieve that, right? Some people, they just want to run a marketing agency, or they want to just have businesses, and they don't need, a degree to do that, right? I think if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, obviously you'd have to go to school for that. But if that's not your goal, then I don't think you should do it, right? It really all depends on what you
Unless
want.
you want to be like a podcast doctor.
Oh.
Like where you're like on podcast talking
Dr.
about
Mike.
health.
Yeah.
What's
Dr. Mike? Have you seen him?
No, but you know who it's like the people that are like, you got to do this with your health.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just like podcast bros.
Yeah. No degree. Yeah, but I think it just comes down to, what do you want from your life? And does college allow you to do that? Maybe. Does it?
That's
Maybe
the hardest
not.
question of life, I feel like.
Yeah.
One of the hardest ones.
Yeah, because it's a big factor. Like,
especially in today's world, because you have society just pulling you in a bunch of different directions, social media, like the reality of life that you need to make money, you need to like advance yourself, like, and then you just get lost with what do I really want?
It's like the fig tree analogy. When you're stuck with so many options, you kind of get paralyzed. And I think the worst thing someone can do is indecision. If you're stuck in a place where you can't make a decision, I think that actually brings you back instead of actually propelling you forward. And I think that college question really all comes down to, what do you want out of life? Not what your parents want, not what your teachers want. What do you actually want out of life?
Yeah, I think my take is, I think now is like, just ask yourself and have that inner you could even talk about it with someone externally. It doesn't have to be inner dialogue, but most people just kind of blindly are like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
Last question. You're 17. Has the age ever been a limiting belief? Like, I talked to Ben Smith the other day. He's, I think, 19 now. Mm-hmm. He's at 7. I think he hit 100K a month. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure he did. If not, it's like 83K. I know he passed a 7-figure run rate as a teenager. And the first question he ever asked me on a Zoom call was, Joel, what do I do about my age? And I was like, nothing, just own it. Mm-hmm. He's like, should I not take sales calls? I was like, dude, take sales calls. Like, it's part of who you are. And then he leaned into that, and he said he never had an issue again.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
For me, I really never thought about my age. I think when I first started out, obviously, I was like, oh, I look young. I don't really have a professional background. Like, in my Zoom calls, it was just my messy room with, like, guitars on the wall and stuff. But regarding age, I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I think if you focus on the value that you deliver, and you know that you can provide value, or you know that you're going to put in that hard work to make sure you get them results and that you're not going to waste their money, if you have that conviction in the calls, they're not even going to question your age or your voice. I mean, on my sales calls all the time, they're like, you sound really young, but like, they still buy from me because they see the results I've gotten. They hear the conviction in my voice, and age doesn't come into the factor. And sometimes they do ask me how old I am. And I'm like, I'm 17, I'm in high school, and I've made my client $450,000 in 90 days. And they're like, okay. It's all down to the results and the conviction that you have. And even if you don't have results, if you just convey the fact that you're going to try your absolute hardest to get them the best results possible, then they're not even going to question your age. And if they do, then you're going to have the conviction to overcome that and not fumble when they ask, like, are you sound young, or you look really young, or like, are you 14 or something like that. It's conviction and results for sure.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to share?
No. Not really. I'd say.
All right. Well, peace.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Anything else or no?
I'd say.
There's always one last thing.
I think last message is probably say, if you're watching this right now, you probably should go do the thing that you know you should be doing. I used to watch YouTube videos and be like, I'll do this thing later, whatever. No, go do the thing that you need to do right now, whatever that is. You know what it is. So go do the thing and turn off YouTube, and yeah.
After you check out Sergio's speech.
Yeah.
And after you check out.
Yeah.
Well, both Sergio's leadership talk and me and Sergio's speech at Agency Lab Live, then turn off YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.